Euronews, 14th of April 2023, Chinese spy technology intensifies the campaign against Iranian women. The Iranian government has increased the number of oppressive tools in its arsenal by adopting a strategy from the Chinese people's control. The authorities announced the installation of cameras in public areas that can recognize and punish women who do not cover their heads as required by Iranian law on Saturday. According to reports, a warning text message will be sent to anyone whose hair is not covered. Iranian officials reportedly attempt to replace the unpopular morality police who enforce the laws with surveillance. But China also uses surveillance technology, so Iran is not acting alone. Craig Singleton, senior fellow at the US-based Foundation for the Defense of Democracies, highly suspects the advanced cameras originated in China even if it hasn't openly said this. Beijing has aided Iran's struggling government to create a sophisticated surveillance state, which has been solidified by a covert 25-year collaboration deal signed in 2021. Some critics have warned that Iran's people risk a dystopian future. Chinese corporations have reportedly provided facial recognition technology, robust video and crowd surveillance capabilities, and phone and text monitoring. At the same time, Iranian government officials have gotten training on topics including manipulating public opinion. Iran's population was subjected to gender segregation and unpopular religious regulations. While the effects of Iran's expanding surveillance state are felt by all 88 million citizens, women are disproportionately affected. Melody Kazemi of FilterWatch, a non-profit that tracks online censorship in Iran, stated that technology continues to restrict women's movement in Iran and prevent them from enjoying basic freedoms, like going to the spaces they want to or dressing how they like. It contributes to their treatment as second-class citizens, allowing women to continue being arrested, intimidated, or harassed. After the death of Mahsa Amini, a 22-year-old arrested for allegedly breaking the nation's strict dress code, who was killed in September, there were widespread anti-government demonstrations throughout Iran. After a barrage of official repression and brutality, including widespread arrests and executions, the women-led protests gradually died. However, Singleton told Euronews that Beijing's technology has helped prop up the extremely unpopular Islamic government. He stated, "For now, such technologies appear necessary, albeit insufficient, for authoritarian regimes like Iran to completely eradicate all forms of dissent, even though it could not neutralize the root causes of unrest." The internet and mobile surveillance used to identify and imprison protesters after the fact was essential to the regime's crackdown on demonstrations last year. Even though various tools were likely used in the crackdown, China is said to have sold Tehran a robust surveillance system that can track landline, mobile, and internet communications. For a while, China has been using surveillance technology to subjugate people. Iran has a lengthy history of repression using technology. "It's not a new thing," Kazemi remarked. "We shouldn't forget that Iran has already repressed women, dissidents, and opposition using older technologies and established methods." Iranian police used an automatic camera system in 2019 to catch ladies breaking the dress code in their cars. Numerous people received texts calling them to appear before the purported morality police. According to Kazemi, there were all sorts of false positives, with long-haired men being reprimanded for not donning hijabs. Regardless of where these innovations originate, they make mistakes and go wrong all the time, even in a democratic nation with an independent court, she noted. They are made in a way that automates violations of human rights. Of course, financial motivations drive China-Iran collaboration. Tiandi, Hikvision, and Dahua are just a few of the Chinese surveillance companies keenly focused on expanding outside mainland China, which Singleton argues is already saturated with intrusive surveillance. Testing the viability of Chinese technology for use abroad is one aspect of this. According to Singleton, Iran has evolved into a hub for Beijing's techno-authoritarianism in the Middle East, effectively allowing Chinese companies to test their systems abroad to see if they function with foreign networks. According to him, this interoperability is necessary if these Chinese firms want to market their surveillance products to other authoritarian regimes. However, there are also geopolitical reasons. According to Singleton, Beijing's great power ambitions depend, in part, on its technological supremacy, which the US and its allies have failed to counter. Amid China's persecution of Uyghur Muslims and other ethnic minorities, which the US has dubbed a genocide, A lot of high-tech equipment has been developed. Along with mass detentions and sterilizations, it has involved tracking smartphone use and collecting biometric information such as DNA, blood type, fingerprints, voice recordings, and facial scans. There's a lot we don't know yet. As other innovations are domestically produced, Beijing is not the only nation fueling Iran's technical dominance. The Intercept's investigation revealed that the government had integrated Siam spyware into the mobile networks of the nation to follow, decrypt texts, and block internet access on smartphones. Other things originate in the West. The Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps, primarily seen as the honest power brokers in Iran, received facial recognition technology from a Chinese video surveillance business, D&D Technologies, which the U.S. blocked in December. The U.S. semiconductor behemoth Intel Corporation produced the processors for its video recording devices, but it ceased doing business with D&D following an internal review. According to researcher Kazemi, significant doubts about the technology being employed and its origins remain. She cautioned that to terrify people and stop future protests, the Iranian dictatorship might also be exaggerating statements about the technology it possessed. She continued that I wouldn't rely on it in any way just because the Iranian government claims to be employing this technology. It might all be rhetoric. As more people attempt to resist, the government has an appetite to suggest that they are getting better and more efficient. Melody stated that further study was required into technology and its applications globally because so much of it is still unknown. We need to collect more precise information to provide consumers excellent guidance on resisting them.